Alright, whatever. Let's just start.
Welcome back to Digi Bros. We're in a house. We went down the chimney like Santa Claus.
Here's
Santa
a question
Claus.
from Joseph Sovar. Question: have you seen? God, gross.
I'm sorry.
Dude. We just started the episode. You're already making it fucking. Oh no! Stop it. All right. Question: have you seen the Minority Report, the movie Minority Report? If so, what do you think of its similarities to Psycho-Pass?
Psycho-Pass is a ripoff of Minority Report. That's okay.
Which one's better?
Psycho-Pass.
I've never seen Minority Report, but I've read the plot description, and it sounded like a version of Psycho-Pass that would piss me off to no end.
Yeah.
Because isn't it like psychics determine...
I don't know, I remember having a big rant about it and how it relates to Psycho-Pass when I saw it recently.
Because I had been saying how, like, one of my favorite things about Psycho-Pass is that it's
about psychics.
Is that it's not about rebelling against the system so much as trying to work within the system against it.
It's a different way, because this is about psychics predicting the future to stop crimes before they happen.
Like, I mean, it's fine as a concept, but like Psycho-Pass is so much cooler because it's like vaguely plausible that we could do this thing, you know? Yeah,
the psychics thing is fucking ridiculous. But it is the same concept of like, is it moral to stop a crime before it happens, or should the person be able to have the chance to change what they're gonna do, you know?
I like cyberpunk, and I like I'm okay with dystopian settings, but I feel like whenever the goal is just to take down the government, then like it's short-sighted because you don't know what that's going to result in. And like most of those I find it less interesting if everyone's unhappy, because then my question is, why did the government get like that? And it makes it so obvious.
That's a Utopia movie.
But it makes it so obvious that you have to take it down, you know? Well, I haven't seen Minority Report again. But, like, what I like about Psycho-Pass was that it was questionable if they were in the wrong, because society as a whole was kind of better. There was no crime. People were generally happy, you know? And people don't understand
it's the same
this
in Minority Report,
about my video, but,
the guy who ends up, like... Because the main character is the guy who is, like, running the system for catching people. So like he is totally in support of it at the beginning until they predict that he is gonna murder someone, and then he's like, well, what the fuck? And then he ends up on the run. And then it turns out like him doing all of that leads to him being in that situation where he would have killed someone and all this crazy shit. It's an interesting movie. But Psycho-Pass is certainly the better version.
I'm still listening. I'm just trying to find questions.
Yeah. I don't have a whole ton to say about Minority Report when I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh. I'm still trying to find questions, though, on the page. I'll just go back to the...
It adds to the Psycho-Pass discussion. Certainly.
Yeah, I could talk about Psycho-Pass all fucking day. I feel like I've talked about it more than enough, and that people are probably sick of hearing me talk about it.
Now, Minority Report is also a book written by a dude who wrote the entire thing on acid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. Alright, Quickly Quill asks, question for Victor, what is the difference between boxing and Hajime no Ippo and real boxing?
Real boxing, you don't get slow-mo time to think, and you're just getting punched in the face. And you realize that it's really hard. Yeah. And that hits happen really fast, and you're like, oh god, I can't dodge them.
Characters in sports anime think a lot more.
Yes, there is no time to think. You just have to do.
Yeah. This was for me. Sefixer, what are some blogs you follow? This question came to mind when you talked with Bob Do on Twitter, which I talked about in the couple episodes ago, who has also started making episodic analysis of Hyoka. In terms of blogs, to be honest, like, when I got into video... hold on, let me start from further back. I was into anime blogs for a long time, or I was writing one, and I was into them, and I had a lot of friends who were writing anime blogs, and by the time... God, dude, what is wrong?
I can't
Can you go blow your nose or something? Would that work?
Continue.
Here, I'll just fucking tell this story, and I'll
play the game.
shake... links ass back and forth. This is hilarious. God, fucking gross. Around the time that I stopped blogging, pretty much everybody that I knew had stopped. Like Ghost Lightning quit around the time that I started doing pony videos. Anime Critic, who was a guy I was a big fan of, quit around this time. Otosan stopped. He runs Shameful Otaku Secret. iKnight, also known as Anime Anachronism. I never really read him, but I still follow him on Twitter. And most of these guys went to Twitter. Like, they still talk about anime. They just don't write blogs anymore. So, like, most of the guys I followed just kind of stopped. And then there's a few blogs I've been following forever. I follow Omo's blog, Omonomono or Skull Candies. I don't remember which one it's called. I think it might just be omonomono.com. But he is the most esoteric writer ever. He's like an old dude who's been into anime for like 40 years, and he probably more like 30. He's very difficult to read because you can't always tell where the fuck he's coming from, but I find his perspective interesting because it's usually quite different from my own. And then there's Ogiwe Maniacs. I still follow him even though I don't really read most of his posts because they're usually pretty short and don't go into much detail. He also started doing Patreon, and that's cool. What other blogs I follow? Oh, the main one I follow that I still like read that is great is For Me in Full Bloom, or Atelier Emily as it's called, which is a really fantastic, like, usually episodic, very personal... Shut up! I'm fucking talking, you fucking idiot! If you really liked the style of, like, the S4 Diaries that I did with Pony and, like, that kind of writing, then I highly recommend following Atelier Emily, aka For Me in Full Bloom. She writes similarly. I think she's also, like, a sports journalist by trade, and also a StarCraft journalist and player.
Motherfucker.
But, yeah, her anime blog's cool. I'd say she's probably, like, in terms of writing posts that I'm actually interested in and, like, that are kind of memorable, she's probably, like, the best blog that I still follow. But she doesn't watch a lot of the same shows as me, so... And I don't watch anything current, so I'm always, like... There's not much for me with anime blogs. Like, they tend to be about current shows, and I don't really watch current shows.
Oh, shit.
That was what made, like, Ghost Lightning so great, is that he would usually talk about broad concept stuff.
Oh!
I'm still talking.
I'm sorry, this is epic.
Alright, well,
As in,
I'm done
not
answering
epic,
that
it was
question.
just neat.
Those are the blogs I still follow.
Afternoon delight.
Lately, Anime News Network has had a lot of good editorials going up, especially because they got this guy called Kevin, also known as Yu Cow, on Twitter, and he knows a lot of shit about Sakuga and animation, and he writes great articles about Sakuga. I'm gonna get to a question Victor has an answer for, so he'll shut the fuck up and stop being so fucking annoying.
That's not gonna happen.
Let's see. Rick and Morty Season 3 wish list.
Do I have a wish list for that?
I don't know.
That it's good?
I hope
I
it's good.
actually... I don't know. I kind of... Part of me almost wishes that Season 3 is the end. Like, they do one more season, they wrap it up real nice in a bow, and then stop before they can, like, play it out.
I might be okay with that if Season 3 is...
Kind of like I was really glad Gravity Falls ends with a second season, and they don't let it go on long enough to become
I guess
lame.
I agree, but, like, I think Rick and Morty can go on for longer.
But I don't want them to make it go on longer than it can go on.
Right, longer than it stays good. I don't think they want that either. I don't think Justin would let it happen. My only wish for Season 3 is that there's a time skip. I just don't want it to start off...
That would be cool.
Like, too immediately.
Certainly, I'm sure... And I hope they don't, like, take an easy way out of, like, solving their situation of Rick being in prison and stuff. Like, I hope it's not just, like, he's suddenly out kind of thing.
Right.
Like, if you're gonna have a nice plot thing like that, you know.
Right. I feel like they're gonna do it right
Deliver
because
on
they
it.
do everything else right.
Yeah.
They're geniuses, and
I have
Dan
faith in
Harmon is
them.
great, and Justin Roiland is great. Continuing questions. That was from Subsonic Sparkle. He also asked best animal and worst animal.
Tricky. Worst animals, monkeys.
I do hate
Monkeys
monkeys.
suck.
Go
They
vote
are
up
too
monkeys.
close to humans, and that disgusts me. Toads are also creepy.
You don't like toads?
I don't like
They're
toads.
alright.
Frogs are okay. Toads are fucking creepy.
Oh, just because they're like the weird, creepy
Yes,
murderous
they
ones?
they just I don't know. Give me a weird rapey vibe. I just don't like toads. Rabbits for the same reason. They're animal rapists, and I don't like that.
What about dolphins?
Dolphins too are also freaky and rapists. I don't like any rapey animals.
Most animals rape each other, Victor.
Yeah.
Like the vast majority of them.
And that's why
pretty
I like
rapey.
cats and dogs, because we cut their balls off and then they stop like raping things, and that's that really kind of ruins me for a lot of
God,
animals when I
it's
think about
hard for me to pick a worst animal because I hate all of them.
it. Yes.
Monkeys are definitely up there. I can't stand monkeys.
It's hard for me to tolerate animals when I think about the things they do in nature and like in what we wouldn't accept, and then I'm like,
That's
not,
why, yeah, it's
not
exactly.
comfortable.
I hate animals because they're not people. That's like my
Exactly.
whole argument. Anytime someone's like, "How could you hate animals?" and I'm like, "What does an animal like have to offer that a human can't offer in like a vastly greater quantities?" You
Yes.
know?
Well, with a dog, it's what they can't do that's magical. They
Right.
can't talk.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
But they can make a lot of
They're-
fucking
they're
noise
great.
and stink and be shitty.
Nah, they can be great though. I love Hope's dogs. They're a lot of fun.
All right, what's your
Those are,
favorite
like,
animal
perfect
then?
dogs.
What's your number one animal? Mine is the walrus.
I feel like the cat, because you know we've had a cat for so long.
Yeah, I mean, if
that
you're talking about
I feel a
domestic
sense of
animals, then yeah.
companionship with. Yeah, there's domestic animals, then there's animals that you like because they're cool.
Right. I mean, if you're talking about like animal to have as a pet, cats are easily the best.
Yes.
Because they fucking take care of themselves and you don't have to do shit
Okay,
except
let
for
me look
open
at the-
fucking doors for them at every hour of night. Fuck cats.
Yeah,
I changed
biggest
my
problem.
opinion.
Vote up cats.
But yeah, walruses are my favorite animal because they're cool as fuck.
Walruses are cool. I've always liked turtles.
I am the Eggman.
They're okay.
We are the Eggman. Yeah, you used to be a huge turtle nut, dude. Victor
Yeah.
was big into turtles because of Squirtle growing up.
Yes. Giraffes are interesting. Elephants are one of those where I'm like, this is really a modern dinosaur. Rhinos are pretty cool. Like any of those animals where I feel like when I see them in real life and I'm just like, holy shit! Like that's some video game monster looking shit. Like that's cool. Something I'm glad exists and is so different from anything else.
All right, continuing from Subsonic Sparkle. This is one I think we've probably
I like
talked about
animals.
this a little before, but we have vastly different views on this. I
Fish are
think.
terrifying.
Thoughts on babies?
Fuck babies. Not literally.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
like babies at all. They're
I
annoying.
think babies are adorable.
They shit themselves, and it's the worst smelling thing in the
I
world.
will say the fact that they shit themselves is the worst thing about them.
Yes,
That is definitely the
I would
worst
say
thing about babies.
I like babies on a surface value of like, I wouldn't mind if you had a baby and I looked after it for a couple hours. I think it would be okay. If it's around, it's cute, it's doing cute things, it's fun to look at, but then as soon as it shits itself, it's just like, fuck this. What?
Just the sheer like objectification. Like the second it becomes human, it is no longer worthy of your love.
Yes.
Like you
Well,
only
know,
love the
it's all
object of the baby.
smiling and
Yeah,
cute,
exactly.
and
When
then
it's a
like,
fucking toy,
the
then it's
responsibility.
great.
Fuck that.
Oh my god.
I don't like
That's fantastic.
babies.
I think babies are pretty alright. I fear changing diapers, but I feel like it's something you'd get used to if you had one.
The screaming, it like gets to me on like
The thing is,
a
like,
very deep level that I can't
I feel
stand.
like I can put up with a lot.
I feel like
a
babies aren't even that bad compared to toddlers.
Right.
Like, I would not want to tolerate a fucking toddler.
And
when I see a kid in the store screaming about some shit he wants, that's just... I don't want that. That is the last thing I would be able to handle.
The thing is, when I look at kids being like particularly shitty, I'm like,
oh my god, it's terrifying.
Can I, like, it's almost like a challenge. Like, can I make this not happen? You know, like, would I be capable of making this not happen? Of course, every parent would probably say, no, you're not capable of making that not happen. But you know,
there are some good kids out there. There are decent kids.
Yeah, there's good kids.
Minority.
All right, last question from Subsonic Sparkle, just to wrap up everything he asked. Why was One Punch Man so popular before it started? Because the manga's been going on for fucking ever. And people have been hyping the shit out of it for, like, years. I've heard about One Punch Man for easily 3 or 4 years now. So, yeah, it's just a really popular manga because it looks fucking incredible and it's hilarious. It started as a webcomic, and it had like really shitty art, and then awesome. The guy who drew iShield 21 adapted it and drew it like incredibly and gave it like these amazing character designs,
hilariously detailed.
Yeah, and Kachiro was saying, you guys play a lot of Japanese games. Are you weeaboo gamers? Are we weeaboo gamers?
I guess our origin is in weeb gaming.
Yeah.
I would say we had a preference for Japanese games in middle school times.
Yeah, there was a period where I was really, really, really into JRPGs.
Yeah.
But it was sort of like... It's odd. Like, I was into anime, and then I was into video games, and then it was sort of like I found out that there were video games that were anime, you know? And got into those. Because, like, at that time, like... I was of the mindset that, like, man, video games can have stories that are as cool as the stories in anime, so I want to get into story-driven games and, like, JRPGs. I got really into that, and then I sort of had a recursive moment a few years later where I went, oh, JRPGs exclusively have stories on the level of shitty anime.
Yes.
Like, there are no JRPGs where the story is like good.
That's another disappointing part of Xenoblade Chronicles X, is where it's like it had some elements of that plot that were really original, and then it took an anime shit on it. And like, there's so many moments at the end where me and Dawson are sitting there going, I fucking hate anime. Anime is such bullshit, because it's not a video game anymore. It's just an anime. Holy shit, one more. All I have left is the ghost ship.
Every JRPG has the exact same plot of an anime that was made in the late 90s and early 2000s. Like, those, like, classic adventure shows where it's just, like, the basic hero's journey formula, like, churned out every time. Not saying there's absolute... I think, like, maybe Final Fantasy VII, you can make the case it's a pretty different story. You know, the characters aren't teenagers, and, well, I think they're in their late teens, but, like, no, Cloud's in his 20s. You know, there's some games that are a little different. The Final Fantasies are usually pretty exceptional and have a lot of crazy ideas, but, like, there's also a lot of anime in them. I don't know, 10 wasn't, like, super anime-ish. 13 is extremely anime.
Okay.
But, I don't know, 10 wasn't... Like, when I'm really thinking about the characters, like, they were not really cliche anime characters. To nearly the extent that, like, a Tales game is.
Oh, you had a maiden, mysterious mentor guy.
Is a maiden that common in anime?
Like fantasy trope, maybe. I don't know.
Much fantasy anime even is there?
They had a shallow romantic relationship. He was, you know, guy from modern world put into fantasy world.
That's not like an anime trope. That's just a trope.
I don't know.
I think
it's been a while.
The most anime thing about 10 is like the daddy issues, but like really 10 was not that anime-ish. If I'm thinking about, I want to play 10 again. I'm interested.
I feel like 10 might be pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to play it again. But yeah, compared to like, I mean, Tales games are just straight up generic anime shit. You know?
Pretty anime. They usually excel on the characters, but then you have to be with that character.
But
it might be Stockholm Syndrome.
Cliche dumbass anime characters.
It's the kind of thing where you just get so attached to them from playing for so long that you start to give a shit.
Yeah, I've been there. I know what it's like. I mean, I watch.
That can be fun.
Not every anime I watch is amazing.
Yeah.
As some people may
It's one of the things,
aware.
like, playing a Tales game is like watching a 100-episode anime, where it's like you really grow with those characters over the course of the game.
Kennick Cress asks, how do you expect to die, and what do you want on your tombstone?
I'm gonna die doing something stupid.
Do you think?
Yeah. I always imagine it will be my fault and I will have done something really dumb.
It's funny because I always imagine I'm gonna die because of someone else.
Like when you tell people about how I died, it'll be like, what a dipshit. That's how Victor went.
There was a long period of time where I was like really sure that I was gonna die at age 44 in a gang shooting. I would not be a part of the gang shooting. I would just get caught in the crossfire of a gang shooting that was happening. And I've always had this irrational fear that like, okay, I go out for walks a lot, especially at night. And like every time a car is coming up behind me, I'm like, is this going to be the psycho who finally just fucking kills me? Do you ever have that feeling? I know you're looking at the guide right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the guide, but
not listening to a single word I say. You never have the feeling like
someone's gonna murder me?
No, like, well, yeah, like, or on accident, like every car I hear coming up behind me, I'm like, is this gonna be the guy who doesn't see me, or is this gonna be the guy who falls asleep at the wheel, or is this gonna be the guy who's just he's out at 2 a.m. and he's drunk and he decides that he doesn't want to seize this faggot on the street and fucking runs me over, you know, like, or am I wearing the wrong colors and I'm going to get gunned down, or the wrong fucking, sometimes I wear dad's like 49ers jacket and I'm like, can you get killed for wearing the wrong team in this city? You know, like,
Jesus
those are the
Christ,
kinds
dude,
of things.
You were paranoid as hell.
Every time I go out in public, those are the kind of concerns I have. Or now, the big one I have is because I have this big curly beard. Am I going to get mistaken for like a member of ISIS or something and fucking beaten to death? Like,
Conrad's a member of ISIS.
I always feel that my death is going to be at the hands of an insane person or someone who just doesn't give a fuck. Like doing something fucked up to me. Although the way I actually expect to die is from not taking care of myself and dying in my 50s of a heart failure.
Yeah, I can believe that. Dude, your eyes are blood red.
I know, they feel blood red.
That is disturbing.
I have been staring at TVs and monitors for like
you stop touching them,
hours.
Stop rubbing them.
I can't.
You put water in your eyes or something.
What do you want on your
dude.
tombstone?
I want Hope to write the most hilarious, ironic, stupid thing on my tombstone that she could probably... And she will be an artist about it. I know she will take good care to write the most stupid fucking
It's just
pun
going to say very
on
clean on your tombstone.
No, I will trust her to put a lot of effort into this. It'll be the perfectly crafted, retarded sentence to summarize my life, and it'll be amazing. It'll be the most sarcastic, puntastic thing in the world.
My tombstone should say, well, shit. Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, fuck IDK. Alright, let's look at some other questions. We just started this episode, right? Or did I just end this episode?
I don't know.
Or last episode. Wait. No, because we answered all the Subsonic Sparkle questions. We did thoughts on babies. We did... That was in this episode, right? One Punch Man, why is it popular? And I said I wanted to finish him off. And then I just started answering questions because I forgot
did you start it on babies?
No. Maybe...
Baby.
No, I don't think I did.
Oh.
Next time on Digi Bros,
hey.
we do another video.
Apparently. Apropos. How I hook shot up to that first tree. Alright, the hook shot, not the grappling hook. Okay. Shibbity-wing!